Hey look, inventory. Well, I have made a mess. Well guys, welcome back to another vintage haul and tips video. I realized in the last one that I don't think I've really introduced myself much. So if you don't know me, my name's Caleb. I am a full-time reseller here in Lexington, Kentucky. I buy stuff at thrift stores and pawn shops and garage sales, and as you'll see today, sometimes get stuff from my grandma's attic to sell on eBay and Amazon. So without further ado, I'll get into some of the stuff that I picked up a few weeks ago. Since my last video, I showed you guys a whole bunch of hats. I have more today, as you'll see. And I think that was about 4 days ago. Since then, I've sold almost 300 bucks worth of just hats. So those are doing really well for me, and I'll get to share some more of them with you today. Let's start off with this awesome purpley Gatorade one. This one, Calusa Lake. I don't actually know where that is, but check out like some of the graphics on this guy. Just super bright and fun. I always like to pick stuff like this up. Got a couple really cool vintage tees. We got a Chicago Blackhawks one. Again, we got some single stitch action going on right there. Still has the tag on it. That's always really good to find. As I'm going through some of these other ones, I'll share with you guys a bit of a hat horror story that also happened to me in the last since the last video. So I don't know if you remember that heather gray Pacers hat. I'll flash a picture of it up here if I can. It was one of the ones that I listed for the lowest because it had like some staining on the inside. I couldn't find any comps on it, so I was like, $17, I'll throw it up there. And it sold within like an hour. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Must have been a collector looking for it. Well, in the following few hours, I had multiple people messaging me, offering me $50, $75, even $100 for this hat if I would just cancel that order. And I was like, oh no, what have I done? So I posted about it on Instagram, had some people help me out. Check out this Gatorade Truckers hat. If that fits okay, that might be a keeper. Let's see. What do you guys think? Do I pull it off? That's kind of nice. So anyway, I reached out to people on Instagram to ask what the heck is this hat so I don't make this mistake again. Nice little Miami design there. And apparently, anytime you find them in heather gray by this company called Sport Specialties, they're very limited edition and hard to find, highly collectible, nice corduroy there. And often used for drafts in like NFL and NBA and stuff like that. So now I know here's another super cool, bright design, another Gatorade one. And this one actually has a weird like almost towel fabric lining. Haven't seen that before. So anyway, I had some people ask what I did. I did not end up canceling the order. I sent it out mostly because I don't want to bite the hand that feeds me, in the sense that it's very much against eBay's policies to cancel an order and relist it for hire, and you can get in trouble for that, especially because I noticed the guy who bought it from me is someone who sells high-end vintage hats, so he definitely bought it to flip, and likely would have tried to get eBay onto me for that. So I decided to play it safe, just took my lumps on that one. And that's what I generally recommend. eBay and Amazon are my full-time income, so I don't want to be tampering with that at all, even if I am giving up, like $100. So got a cool purple TaylorMade. Have you guys ever seen purple branding for TaylorMade before? I definitely haven't. Let's start to go a little quicker on some of these. Got another floral Gatorade. That might be a swapper for me. This guy's too cool. Oh yes. So nice. Really hitting hard with the Gatorades. I don't know if I've sold a whole lot of these or any of them. I don't think any of them have sold in the last few days, but I mean, they're cool enough with a large enough branding that I'm confident eventually they will. Another TaylorMade here. Boston. Ooh. On some of these, you do have to be a little bit careful with the inside lining. That's one thing to check as you're buying, just to make sure it's not like deteriorating and getting all over. I noticed that I picked this guy up that a whole bunch of dust went everywhere, and it looks like part of the inside lining is sort of starting to just fade away and get everywhere. So I'm actually gonna trash this one. I don't think anyone's gonna want to receive that. So bye-bye Boston. In terms of price points for me, I always do free shipping on these with first class. So I really won't list them if they're worth less than, if I would do less than like $9.99 on them, just because that's not really worth the time. This is a really cool one. Vintage Ping. I've sold 3 other hats that are in this same like kind of family and era, look very similar with the same like font and everything, old Ping hats, and they all went for 30 to 40. So I'm really excited to get this listed. Really nice golf design on that. Got some random ones here. Kingsford, another couple Gatorades. This is cool, another 3-peat Bulls with the tags, Logo 7 hat. It's a brand that does well for vintage. Kentucky Derby. Heyo, shout out to Kentucky. You know, sway the market. Another Coleman, listed a few of these. Couldn't really find any great comps on them. If you guys know, please let me know. I listed them all for 50 plus shipping, since they are in the packaging and probably not all that common in new condition, but who knows, maybe I'll end up lowering them to 20 or 15 plus shipping. On that kind of thing, when I don't know, my strategy is just list high and turn best offer on and, you know, sit on it, see if there's any interest. Also got some cool jackets this time. This is a vintage Cowboys NFL like windbreaker thing, nothing on the back, but nice large text on the front, so I'm sure that will do well. Not really the season to get that in, but I will take it. Very similar Bulls windbreaker here, super nice, and also with the chalk line tags. Pretty sweet. Ooh, so if you guys follow me at all on Instagram, you may have seen me feature this guy. Oh, not this one, his brother. But this one's also really cool. Very large graphic vintage Bulls shirt. Gotta be careful saying that too fast. Bulls shirt. This is actually a pair of pretty new FootJoy shoes. I got these actually from my uncle. I'm doing a consignment deal with him. This is something that you also can do with your family and friends if they're like, especially if you don't really know what stuff is worth. They've got stuff they're looking to get rid of that, you know, they know is valuable and don't want to take the time to sell it. He gave me a whole bunch of his old golf stuff, mostly clubs. Gave me a nice set of tailor-made irons here. That's what these guys are. A few drivers, Cobra driver there. I really didn't know, I wasn't sure completely what these would sell for, so I said, hey, I'll just sell them and, you know, we can split the profit once it's done. So I like doing that kind of stuff when I can. One last shirt in here. This is almost like a baseball style shirt, but it's still Bulls. Oh, this is cool. This is a little, I guess like a warm-up duffel. Old Gatorade. This little guy, weigh scale. I saw a couple of these. I think this is only like 10 or 15 bucks. But new old stock stuff is always good to look for as well. Here he is, Cracker Jack. This is like a little backpack thing. Stuff like that, I really don't know what it's gonna, it may only be 15 bucks or so. Got a White Sox windbreaker here in the exact same style as the other ones on a starter diamond collection tag. So that's solid vintage brand as well. Here's the real gem. This is the one that I was talking about that I showed on Instagram. I'll have to roll on back here for this. Check out this Bulls all over print World Champions t-shirt with, now I'm rolling up, the sticker's still on it. This is certainly one of the best items, although some of the knives that I listed from that last lot I listed really high as well. This guy had one sold comp that I saw for I think 70 bucks, but that was used. So stuff like this, just obnoxious, like super bright and loud and swaggy stuff like this, just really great to find. I don't think I really even need to say that. Like if you saw that at a yard sale, you're gonna pick it up. unless they're asking like 50 bucks. But I'm gonna list that guy really high since there aren't a lot of strong comps, probably at like 150, and just kind of see what kind of offers come in. Don't want to make another Pacers hat mistake with that and list it too low, so I'm gonna play it safe and just see what kind of offers come in. Here's another little hat bundle. I'll go pretty quickly through these. Another black Gatorade, Cubbies, Charlotte. That's kind of cool. Ooh, haven't seen that Bears logo. Nice stripy Wrigley. Since it's not named that anymore, that should probably do fairly well. Cubbies again. Oklahoma. People like corduroy, as it turns out. Those have been selling pretty well for me. White Sox. Also got a comment on my last video or Instagram or something. Someone asking me how I ship them. And I use these little 9x6x4 boxes. They are the perfect size where you can fit both a flat bill and like a more curved bill, like baseball style hat in one way or the other without much wiggle room. So I really like these, recommend them pretty highly. I would never ship it in like a padded mailer or a poly mailer just because it's gonna get crushed and bent up, and that's not what you want. So even with the box weight, it normally comes out to around like 10 ounces or so, depending on what hat you're shipping. This was another super random item I found. This Humminbird LCR 400, I think it's a fish depth finder. Advanced fish ID symbols. It's still sealed, has never been opened, but that makes me a little bit nervous. It sounds like something's broken in there. What would you guys do? Would you crack this guy open, or would you trust that is just how it's supposed to sound? I may have to open this. I'll probably sell it as, new open box still, but I gotta see if something's broken. But let me know what you guys would do. All right, I think this is the last stack of hats here. Got Super Bowl. I don't know where all of if this was just a certain year that maybe like NFL did this like tiger print, but that's super. I say cool too much, don't I? That's neat. Chicago Bulls champions. This got a little bit of some sort of wear on that. I don't know if that's. Doesn't look like dust to me. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out, but I mean, check out that design. That's cool. The dunes, super nice floral on Sackler Island. Sackler Island. Super Bowl 23, if I'm not mistaken. Bud Light, boom, boom, boom. Gatorade. We've seen you already. Ooh, spicy, lovely, beautiful. Profit, money. Got some pins on some of these too. Waikoloa Beach Course. I don't have a ton of experience selling golf course branded stuff. Let me know if you guys know anything about that. I'm sure some of it, like for some of the more like famous and prestigious courses, probably does pretty well. I just picked that up because it was super swanky. Got a crisp white windbreaker Bears here with that same logo and Piccolo. Is that a player's name or is that like a personalization? I don't really know on that. This is a pretty nice item right here. Chalkline Lakers windbreaker jacket, same thing, new with tags, really nice text on the back there, large size, so this is a solid item. I would guess 50 plus. You guys tell me, I don't really know. Few more Coleman items here. I showed you guys, got a few of those last time. This is a Sportster 2 stovetop carrying case. Stove and carrying case. I want to say I looked this up and it was like maybe 30 or 40 bucks. Coleman Lanterns, guys. This is like this is what people collect, I think, more than anything else. And especially in new condition, that's a pretty obvious pickup. If I came across one at a garage sale, I I'd probably pay $5 or $10 depending on the condition. If it was in really nice condition, I might pony up a little bit more for it just because I know there's such a market for it. They are a pain to ship though, especially if you don't have the packaging like this. There is a lot that can go wrong, but there's definitely money to be made there. And last but definitely not least, have another little box of knives merch here. Case XX, the case knives that I've listed already, I've listed pretty high, so I'm excited to see that. I think vintage knives in general is just a great niche to be in, great niche to know something about. Ooh, this guy is a limited edition, if you can see that at all. It says 1 of 1500 NKCA. That's always a good sign. It does have a little bit of corrosion and schmutz on there, but hopefully that will come off. Camillus is another brand that seemed to have really high comps. Haven't sold any yet, so I can't say for sure, but I believe that this is a really quality brand. Got a bunch of these Swiss Victorinox knives. I think these are like little just kind of cheap Swiss Army knives, but I did see some lots of them selling for around $6 each for, you know, 4 or more. So that may be what I do. I've got a good number of them here. So I'll probably just lot these up. But what I was saying is I like knives in general as a niche a lot because they're easy to store, easy to ship, and I think probably oftentimes undervalued at yard sales, estate sales, and stuff like that. But there are a good number of collectors, so you'll probably have a little bit of competition when sourcing for them. All right, we've got a Dux Unlimited carrying case for a Swiss Army knife. These knives, actually, I think most of them are not technically vintage. Vintage is 20 plus years old, and I think these are early 2000s. Ooh, nice, another case knife here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. I think they're just a brand that's known for their quality. Really nice. Is that like some sort of an antler? If you take anything away from this video, it should be that you don't have to know jack about anything to be a reseller. Because you can just look at me and say, well, if that doofus can do it, and he doesn't know anything about his own inventory, then clearly I can. So check out this blade, first of the museum series. Let's see if I can get it to catch the light there. If you guys didn't see, I am a professional because I have a ring light now. So full YouTuber status. But yeah, there's that, 1 out of 1500. So that bodes well for the value of this little guy. Another good brand, Buck Knives. I just say that because looked at some good comps last time. Famous for holding an edge, apparently. That's what their marketing material says. Ooh, this is just a tiny little guy. Got a little bit of materials in here. Dang, I'm dropping everything. I noticed in the last video that I looked a bit stiff and awkward in front of the camera, but I just want to assure you guys that as I do more and more of these videos, I think I'm gonna start loosening up a little bit, and who knows the kind of ignorant stuff that may trickle out of my mouth, so hold on tight. All right, so this knife is vintage. I just found it in this wrapping right here. It's a 1990 and limited edition of 5,000. I couldn't see a brand on here, but it looks like it says, on having selected a Kissing Crane knife. I guess maybe that's the brand, Kissing Crane. Anybody know anything about that? Because I sure don't. Oh, it turns out one of the knives that I showed you guys last video, Waterman, is actually a pen. So there's that. And last but not least, we have a little Dux Unlimited gift set. Don't really think there's anything too special about that. Well guys, that should pretty much wrap up this haul and tips video. Hope you found something in it helpful. If you liked it, if you would consider liking it, that'd be great. And if you didn't like it, if you would consider sending me some hate mail, then maybe it will make you feel better.